What's going on, guys? Welcome to the For the Fans Survivor recap. I am Kevin, and I'm here with my fellow 5 p.m.er Ryan and Sheldon. What's
Hello.
going on, Sheldon?
Good
What's going
morning, good
on?
evening, and good afternoon.
Yes, yes. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty darn good. Yeah, I'm vibing. I'm chilling.
Good, good, good. We missed you on the end of the Big Brother coverage, but we have you now
Mhm.
covering Survivor.
Okay, I know we don't like to talk about Big Brother on the show,
Correct.
but it feels like Big Brother never ended. If you were like it seems like it's Taylor Hale show that will never end.
Oh yeah, and I'm here for it.
Um, I'm here for it too. She's a celebrity, and I just finished listening to Taryn's 6 hour recap or 6 hour deep dive with Taylor. I just
How
finished
do you
listening
have
to
6 hours to listen to that?
that.
Six
You make
hours?
time. You make time for the queen,
So like in
Sheldon.
the bathroom, in the car drive, like is
On
it
the
everywhere you
drive, yeah.
go?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, amazing.
6 hours.
Everywhere you go and when you're going.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Everywhere you go and when you're going, it's true. But we're here to talk Survivor.
Yeah.
Last night, NECA went home.
Why are you
NECA went
spoiling
home.
everything?
It's not really to spoil anything. I mean, if you're listening, if you're watching this today, I would hope that you at least seen the episode. You had a day. You had a day,
Yeah.
right? You,
Let's
you
go.
had a day of like watch. If you're coming here to like find out how the episode went, it's the next day. We should have already gone over this, but we're here to talk about the game that NECA played, what's going on in these tribes, how this is set up. We're here to talk about all those things. Starting off though, let's not bury the lead. NECA did go home. Sheldon, how do you feel about NECA going home?
I'm really sad about NECA going home. I listen. She is not made for Survivor. Uh, she's not made for this game. Very simply, she might have had a better job on a Big Brother type show. In truth, but she doesn't have the physical strength. She can't do puzzles. Um, and so her only strength is her ability to make strong relationships, which in the game of Survivor is very, very helpful, especially in the middle and the end of the game. It's not as helpful in the first part of the game when all you're literally trying to do is keep as many people on your side together so that when there's a swap or there's a merge, you get some numbers with you. And so it just didn't work out for NECA. And the truth is, I'm a big NECA fan. I said this last week. I think she would be my ride or die if I would play this game, but it would be a very difficult ride or die because I would be doing it purely because I think she's an amazing human being and not because I think she would add a lot of value, sadly. And so, again, Survivor's not for NECA, but NECA's for me.
Ryan, how do you feel about NECA going home?
um, I feel pretty neutral about it. I think her going is fine. Like there are so many stars of this season just already. They're like I'm watching all the tribes and I'm watching them and I'm like, oh, I don't want that person to go home. I don't want that person to go home. I don't want to go that person to go home. For the last episode on episode 2, I felt like NECA was one of those people. Like she was a shining star. You could see her social game. You could see her convincing people to give the beach. You can see her being a strong, loyal ally. But then in this episode, you didn't really see her strategize any farther. You didn't see her try to make amends with Noelle or with Dwight about voting them out. You just saw her saying, I'm going to be with the people who I already was, and that's it. And I don't know. I wanted a bit more from her, and maybe it was just wasn't in the edit, but I didn't see it. And because I
But
didn't see it, I'm fine
isn't
with
it
not seeing it for the rest of the season.
But isn't
And
that
that's
so
where I'm
true to
at.
form? That's so true to form to who NECA is. NECA is just like a good person.
Mhm.
Like I don't think she has a conversation with somebody and thinks in her head, "Oh, this person's trying to trick me." Oh, this like NECA said, "These are my people." That's like NECA's old school Survivor. Um, I love her.
But here's the thing: we dropped the four carry the three like this.
Why are we doing
That
math now? Like, what the hell?
this is
Carry the 3? Carry it?
whatever. Keep the three. I don't know. So like NECA. So I'm happy NECA went home. Right. I'm
Ooh.
happy NECA went home, and I feel like NECA should have went home the first episode, and we'll get into that. But because we're gonna take this back and go over it. But NECA is not made for this world at all. And especially if you're playing an old school game in a new school world, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all. And the game's been on for being played for 20 years at this point.
But here's the thing though, like NECA could have been around a long time if she had a better tribe that like so if she was the blue tribe, Coco, whatever they're called, like I could have seen NECA definitely making merge. I could see NECA definitely going much further. I think
Sheldon, I disagree with that because NECA is the reason that their tribe is losing.
Correct.
The other tribes aren't winning because they have everyone that's like pulling them on. They lose in the puzzle both times. It's because NECA was on the puzzle. And she's like, does this piece go this way or this way? And then the entire side's like, it goes this way. She's like, oh, this way.
You guys are right. She is 100% the fault for that tribe losing 2 times in a row. 100%. What I'm trying to say is if Jonathan was on that tribe and he could have carried them, she I actually think she would have had more time
she would have had more time to blow it. Yeah. I mean, like that's and that's what we're gonna get into. So let's take it back. Yeah. All right. Let's take it how we got there. So first off, we get to the episode opens with the fallout from the vote from last night, right? From the previous night. We debated hotly on this podcast about whether Jesse made a good move or bad move. And I vehemently felt like that Jesse made a terrible move. And I felt like we get the fallout immediately from it. Jesse is in with NECA and Cody. Yeah. Cool. But Dwight's upset. He's not mad. He's just disappointed because he didn't know what was happening. And that's what the crux of my argument was last week, is that by leaving him out, not making the move against, what's her name, Justine? Yeah. Not making the move against her, that's fine. If you're calling Dwight your work husband, your work wife, and then immediately leaving him out, what kind of relationships are you building? And then, as you see on the beach, it pushes Dwight to Noelle. That's the first thing we see. And then we see Dwight saying, listen, if we got to vote out Jesse, we got to vote out Jesse. That puts him in a bad spot with 16 people left in the game. And he's in this spot where someone is actively saying we're cool cutting him if we have to. Whereas if he just lets Dwight know, and Dwight says it, I'm more upset that I was left out the loop. Yep. If you just let him know, I have to keep NECA. She just works better for me. Then Dwight's not happy about it, but he's not upset with Jesse. He understands. Jesse even says it. It's my vote. So I'm going to use my vote how I want to. And that's an understandable feeling and philosophy. I definitely get that and agree with it. But for you to not inform your number one ally about this, because there's only tribes of 6, there's nowhere to hide. So for you to not inform a guy that you're trying to work with, that was the mistake. And you see it right here.
I don't disagree at all with you. But to me, the standout in that specific time was Dwight's behavior after the fact. It was Dwight realizing exactly what was going on. Really doubling down, not doubling down, but going to Noelle and starting to solidify that relationship. But B, he did not get angry. He did not get upset. It's still clear to me that in Jesse's mind, there is still some relationship with Dwight. There's still some holding. Even if I truly believe Dwight will lose him whenever he wants to lose him and it's convenient for him to lose him. So to me, the standout of all of that move by Jesse was the aftermath of Dwight.
Absolutely. I think Dwight handled that phenomenally. Like, we've seen it hundreds of times where somebody gets, like, blindsided by an ally and they, like, lose all trust of them. You see, like, Parvati yelling at Jonathan in Cook Islands. You see, like, Allie getting pissed at Ryan in Heroes, Healers, Hustlers. And when they come back and blow up at somebody, then they go home right next. Yep. If you can say, don't worry about it, we're chill, and then, like, plot to stab them in the back behind their back rather than exploding in front of everyone, that's phenomenal gameplay. That's how you can take being on the bottom and controlling it the game.
Yeah, he's a power bottom. And
Yeah.
and look, like the truth is, it was very clear to him. He was at the bottom. He had Noel. It was the two of them, 3 versus 2. 2 is smaller. So by blowing up, he moves as the next target as opposed to Noel, right? Like he becomes number one target, exactly as you said, Ryan. And what he did was he said, "Look, fine, maybe I'll have to lose Noel. I'm going to try to make sure that doesn't happen. But as long as it's not me, if we lose again, I'm okay." And that's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah. And I don't think necessarily Jesse blindsiding Dwight is necessarily an issue depending on what you do with it. I'm probably in like a subsection of like Survivor fans where I think having an unhappy tribe can be a good thing. And having people at the bottom is good, but it depends on what Jesse does with it. And if he's trying to be buddy-buddy and he thinks that that's what he's doing, then it's a bad move. But if his goal only puts people at the bottom, then that's fine.
Ryan, could you explain that a bit more? I don't get it.
Well, hold on. I strongly disagree with having an unhappy tribe is a good thing in groups of 5 or 6. There's just not enough people that you could like coalesce together to create sides. Because I get what you're saying. Having people like at each other's throats a little bit can like allow you to work within the middle, like it work within chaos. But when you're looking around and you're one and there's 4 others, there's only 4 others, I feel like that's too volatile. But go ahead.
Yeah, I get that too. I think a lot of people when they play Survivor, they always want to be tribe strong going into the merge, but that kind of creates like a target on those people as that's one group that I can't infiltrate, it's one group that I can't work with. Whereas if you go into like a merge or a swap and your tribe is split, then regardless of which side you're on in that split, you can go into a swap saying, yo, I was on the bottom, so I'm ready to target my own people, keep me. Or you can say, look, I was on the top, this person's on the out. I can bring you in, and then you can be safe with a whole new set of people. You can play it both ways. And for that reason, I think having a bit of a messier tribe can be helpful moving forward. Whereas you always see Kumbaya tribes getting targeted when they get swapped, then they get merged.
Right. I agree with you on that, but how do you feel about that when there's only 6 total people?
If you can navigate it well, I think it's fine. But then that's the question, is Jesse navigating it well? And if he thinks he's still buddies with Dwight and Dwight's playing his ass on that, then he didn't do it well. Yeah. And that's the deciding factor in I think what makes that a good move or not.
I guess it also just depends on the tribe dynamics because it's very possible that it's a 3-2-1 and you're the one in the middle. Mm-hmm. Right? Like that, there's always that possibility. And if that's the case, if you're the one causing fights or setting things up, I guess it works. I don't know. That's a scary thing to do. It's a lot of variables. It's a lot of things. Like to me, Kumbaya is easier. It's an easier game to play, and it's a bit more. You're a bit more certain. That's if it works, it works. But I don't know if I personally want to do that.
I wouldn't want to. I would personally, and I don't disagree that chaos. If you go navigate within chaos, if that's like your natural mode or your modus operandi, like that works. But in a group of 6, you got rid of one person, which creates chaos. Now it's a group of 5. So in a group of 5, you're the one creating the chaos. There's no real sides. We're talking the other side is literally 2 people. Like it's a pair. You know what I'm saying? It's not now in a group of in a tribe of 10. Tribe of 10.
Maybe
there's sides that you could create there, right? You can have 3 over here, 3 over there. You're in the middle. Another 2 here, then one other person's in the middle, right? There's different things that you could flow to. But
as I think about it, though, Brian, I think you're right. But I wonder if that's really a post-merge thing. Like isn't like that? It sounds like that's what you want to play once you get to 11, 12.
Well, and on top of that, exactly what Sheldon's saying. This idea of, like you say, going into merge like Kumbaya, not a great idea. Sticking around at 16. Kumbaya. That's what I'm trying to do.
I think there's a difference, though, between playing messy as an individual and having a messy tribe. If you can play a clean game in a messy tribe, you're set. But if you're the one that's messy, then that's on you. And I think that's where our points are varying.
That's where Jesse's at. Yeah, that's what
is Jesse in a messy tribe or is Jesse messy? And that's messy Jesse. I think we have messy Jesse, and that's where we're at.
Which is so interesting because I think we all would have thought that the messy one there would have been Cody. Like,
Yeah.
like the role reversal is really clear to me.
Is it a role reversal though? Like hashtag living Cody. He's like here for vibes. Like he's the ultimate vibes guy, right? And so he's just chilling.
I don't know if that's true, Kevin. Like, I would not be surprised if this guy wins. Like,
I would be
I-
shocked.
I would
I would
not.
be
Like, I don't
shocked.
think it's not like he's sitting around and doing nothing. He's just having a good time and still playing the game. And I don't know. Like we even saw yesterday. We're fast forwarding ahead a bit, but when he looked at Jesse and said, "This is my best friend here, NECA," we screwed up picking the worst player around, like to be our in our alliance. Let's get her out. Like that is gameplay. Like it's not like he's not playing. Like
yeah, it's kind of game. But I want to get into that. First, I want to talk about Cody's immunity bracelet that he has.
yeah.
He actually pulled the beads off, put them onto the bracelet. How upset are you guys that it's not on the hat anymore?
I am very upset. I thought the hat, like, I would love for him to just walk up to Jeff and say, "Jeff, hats off to you."
I'm playing it. Where's my
and
idol?
everyone just looks like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a hat, and then Jeff like puts on the hat and says, "This is a hidden immunity idol."
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck?" He literally made it.
Yeah. I would have loved it because the idea that people are like, so we're just fucking making idols now? Is that how this works? The idol is Pinocchio. You make the idol and it becomes a real idol. That's kind of how it's done.
My only caveat and my only mini issue with that entire idol business is that he has no choice but to trust Jesse now. So whereas last week it was the NECA and Cody final two, Jesse's the only one that knows. And so like it's over. Like they're loyal to one another for a long ass time. And in fact, it might be helpful for him to stick around, but the second they swap, he might be praying somebody else votes Jesse out.
If there is a swap. Remember 41 and 42 didn't have swaps.
Correct.
I feel like
and so
it's not advantageous for Jesse to vote out Cody because they're buds. Jesse knows about that idol and it could be used to like help him.
Yeah.
You could spin it to be advantageous for Cody to vote out Jesse because that way nobody knows about your idol and you have that power.
Unless he walks out and says, "Hey guys, this guy's got an idol."
No, yeah, I don't think that's Jesse's vibe. Sorry, Cody's vibe.
I don't know. No, that's Jesse's vibe. If Cody votes out Jesse, and on his way out, Jesse says, "Cody's got an idol. Bye. Remember those little beads? You losers."
I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past them too.
I wouldn't put it past. Speaking of idols, though, we go to the tribe that Carlos on. I have no idea what the colors are or the names of the tribe at this point. It's been 3 episodes. I think one of the tribes' name is Baka. We go to blue, right? There's blue tribe, right?
It's blue.
So we go to the blue tribe. We go to the blue tribe. We go to the Coca tribe, and huge episode for my girl Carla. Right? I'm a big Carla fan. I spoke highly of her in the pregame.
She's a winner.
She's chilling on the beach, and she's like, "It's James's birthday. Happy birthday, James." James is like, "Man, I wanna go like look for some shit." And people are like, "I don't know how I feel about that." Carla like waits to make her move. Then she goes out searching, and she finds the Beware Advantage. Right? I loved this because she picks up the Beware Advantage, sees it, and goes, "Ooh, it's a Beware Advantage. I'm gonna put this shit back and go think about it."
I don't want to lose my vote.
And she puts it back down because she saw what happened last season. She's like, I could have some people coming for me and like knowing that I got some shit. But on the other hand, she was like that kombucha girl meme where she's like, She was that because she was like, well, maybe I have to take risk and I have to give this a shot. And she goes back and she takes the Beware Advantage. And sure enough, she has to get the beads off the peeps. And this time she tells no one. She just gets to work. What were your thoughts, guys? I loved it.
I thought it was brilliant. First, I just want to talk about her not taking it in the first place.
Mhm.
From a strategy perspective, I think that's brilliant. You've seen her playing this like cautious reserve game to build social rapport. Like when she went on the journey, she like elected not to risk it, so everyone goes, "Oh yeah, Carla, she's loyal, she's cool, she's chill," and so she's focused on the social rapport, and she knows. You can tell that she knows the game. She talks about knowing the game. Everyone who found the Beware advantages in the past 2 seasons, everybody knew all of their shit. They literally didn't
Mhm.
have a choice not to hide it. So if she's focused on that social perception, that's what she's thinking about.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
when I play these games, and I do like online games stuff like that. I stay away from advantages because it always like blows up in somebody's face. And if you can get somebody else to get it and just know the info, then you can play that to your advantage.
Correct.
So the fact that she like
Correct.
went with it and she thought it over and she thought it over shows that she's a real game player. She thought of all the ups and downs and all the pros and cons, and then
Even
decided I'm on TV and went
well,
for it.
even in addition to that, she goes back and says, "Hey James, hypothetically, if you were to find like a beware advantage, like what would you do, dog?" And he's like, "I don't know, man. I go for it." Okay, cool. So like, even if you like lose your vote, you would like go for it. I mean, hypothetically, if we're just talking hypothetics, yeah, that's what I would do. She's like, cool. I'll be right back though.
Scurry into the forest.
Yeah.
So,
And then
so
like
okay,
James looks up.
I have to say I was not high on Carla
I know you weren't.
until last night. This girl's a player. She's extremely strategic, and the social game. She knows where her bread is buttered, and her bread is buttered in her social game. And Ryan is so right. Like every decision, even if it is as simple as taking an advantage, which to be honest, my gut would be like take it. Don't even like. She stopped, and I love how methodical she is. It's just okay. This is a possibility. Nobody else is going to find it. Nobody's around. I'm going to put it back. I'm going to go sit down and talk. I love that. I have one concern. The last few seasons of Survivor, whenever somebody got a lot of airtime pre-merge, they did not make merge. And I'm really worried.
I disagree with that
They've made
full-heartedly.
merch. They may not
Marion
have
got
won
a
the
lot of
game.
screen time. Drea got a
Yeah.
lot of screen time. Mike got a
I
lot
don't
of screen
know.
time.
People
I didn't see
worried.
Lydia
Yeah.
getting screen time. I didn't see Mariah getting screen time. I didn't see like any of the pre-merge people getting a lot of screen time.
The
People that
farmer
don't
was sent out. I'm just worried. I don't want to fall in love with her because I'm starting to, and
who
then she leaves.
I think
41
she is
42.
fine. I think people like Jesse or Ellie are like very loud. Yes, they're strategic players, but they're the ones who are getting way too messy way too fast.
Yeah.
Carla,
Wait,
she's saying,
Sheldon.
"Wait, I'm smart, but let me sit back. Let me just chill on a little bit." And that's why
Yeah.
she's my winner
The
pick because
one
she's
I'm thinking
strategic,
about,
but she's not obvious. And
the
I
Wait,
one
think
I'm
those
Sheldon.
are the
thinking,
people that we see winning these games in these past few
Agreed.
seasons. The
But
people
Sheldon,
who
who
know how to be smart, but also know how to just chill.
I'm thinking of
who
Gabler wannabe, the farmer,
Brad or something?
Brad, whatever his name is.
But Brad's gameplay was messy in those episodes.
Yeah, I'm just worried. Okay, I don't want her to go because I really like
you
her.
you
There's
sound
something.
like
I also have to say that like there is this thing that is like she says that she's not confident and she says that she's sort of like doubtful of herself. But as she's sitting there, there is this quiet, like I feel like I'm looking at a winner, and I just don't want to lose my winner.
your winner. You didn't even think that she was going to do well.
I
Get out
know
of here.
I
You
didn't
can't
like
all of a
her.
sudden
I didn't like
decide.
her last week, and now I really like her.
And it's the
You
people
know
who
what?
grow on you who are the big jury threats.
Yeah, what's so funny though is that like I love the fact that she like I would have personally said to James, "Hey man, let's go look for something together," and then I would have like took him to the area, and then I would have like looked low and had him like looking high, personally, because
Yeah.
I don't like to have the advantages myself, but I want to know where they are, so that's what I would have done. But I love that she got the confidence to get it done and came back and said, "Hey, we just made James a bracelet for his birthday. Let me use that and say I'm gonna make something for my girlfriend and collect bees that way." She gets to Ryan. Ryan's like, "Oh, she," and I like that she tried different strategies for different people to appeal to each one of them, knowing that she had to use the different strategies. And I did love how that she got to Ryan last, and Ryan's like, don't really want to trade the beads, but I'll trade you socks. And she's like, I don't want your effing socks, dog.
This is
let me try this. And then she thinks of another way of getting the bead that she needs. And Ryan's like, oh, those turquoise beads are dope. Give me those. And now you want this bead right here? Here you go. Thank you. Idol secured, both secured. I loved it.
One of the things that was also very clear to me in those specific interactions was how much the tribe truly likes her. The smile on Lindsay's face when they did the little earring, like that was authentic. Like, oh my God, Carla, you are the nicest person. Like they were not thinking this is any idol, this is Carla as a nice human being. And that is what I like. That's why I like Carla, not because she's a nice human being, because she's really good at the game. And you know what? Time for a big person to win, with a big heart, with a big soul, with a bigger body. Like, come on, Carla, let's go.
I can't just sit here though, Sheldon, as you ripped her apart in our pregame, and then all of a sudden, and I said all the sweet things I liked about her because I saw that she had tweeted something to her wife on Twitter, and I said I'm a huge fan, and you and Kylie were like meh, and then now all of a sudden,
and you're still comparing her to Brad.
I'm not comparing her to Brad. I'm comparing her edit to Brad. Okay. And Kevin, I'm
to be
sorry.
Fair, Brad got a lot of screen time because he found a lot of shit, not because he was doing anything. It was just, oh, what's that under that rock?
I also thought Kevin Jacobs would never win Big Brother, and that's the thing. When we do the pre-shows, we watch 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes of a clip. I'm now watching the real Carla, and there's this quiet confidence, and it's like about to explode and bloom, and I don't want it to go. I don't want fall to come. I don't want it to come.
Well, okay. Speaking of confidence, let's go look at Gabler's tribe, right? We get to Gabler's tribe.
Shit show.
Like, listen, I like Ellie is ready for Gabler to go. You know what I'm saying? First off, what's her name on that tribe? Janine? What's the other girl's name?
Yeah, Janine.
She's such a beautiful young lady. I feel so bad for her with her scabs on her chin. Do you know where those scabs came from? That first challenge,
yeah,
when they had those
wood
things.
Yeah.
Oh man, and like she's gonna have those. Like it's gonna take her a couple weeks for those things to heal.
It's gonna take her
battle scars.
It's gonna take her to final 3.
Yeah.
So if you imagine, how do you think she feels when she's watching this at home?
Probably proud. When I get like grapes and scars and stuff, I think, wow, I'm really tough.
Yeah, but not on your
and
face,
if you're on
though.
Survivor,
Not on your face though.
Not
on your face.
And you're not a woman.
I know. I would. I would probably be pretty upset, like not mad, but like just sad, and at the fact that every scene of me has these 2 giant things on her chin, and it's like a searchable thing on the internet because people are like, "What's going on with her chin?" And it's because since it happened in the first episode, you don't remember her not having those scars on her face, right? You see the cast photo, no scars. Immediately you see it, giant scars.
I'm kind of interested. Like, I don't know why they haven't addressed it on the show though. Like, she started the show.
Where she got it from on the show.
Yeah,
they all saw it happen. It's not a question. It's not like, oh, where'd you get those beads on your hat, Cody? It's where'd you get those scrapes on your face? Oh yeah, I face planted
for the audience. Like I mean for us. Like there should have been a quick little confessional of, oh, I'm playing so hard, and look, I even show it on my face, and then move on. Like, I don't know. It just felt 1 second she didn't have scabs, and then she had scabs.
Well, we
like
watched
if she's not
it. We watched
talking
it
about
happen.
it though. It's not her biggest thing that she's thinking about. It's
No,
her
it's
reality. She doesn't think it's a big deal.
Okay, and that's what I was about to go to. Like, I don't think she gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know that
she's
she
playing
knows
the
that she
game.
has them.
She can
doesn't
definitely
see
feel
her
them. It's her
face.
face. She can definitely feel
feels
her
that
face.
they're there. She
She's
feels that
probably,
they're there.
they're probably sporting in the, like, they're taking care of her.
She probably has no idea how large they are.
No, I don't think she does. You're right.
She knows that there's like a scab here and a scab here. She has no idea that it's taking up the entirety
like,
of her chin.
It looks great. It's beautiful. Don't worry.
You look fine. You look fine. It's probably not even you look beautiful. She'll be like, you look fine.
He's
And
gonna
Is
get
Ellie
that spot, and
starting
people are
to
gonna go,
annoy
"What's
you
wrong with your
guys?
face?"
Is Ellie
Well-
starting to annoy you?
not me.
Me a little.
I was not Team Ellie until she literally stole the edit that I wanted. I'm I have dyslexia and ADHD, but now I'm brilliant. Like, that was my edit, so now I have to root for her. So
Well, I love the fact that so we go to their tribe and get there. Ellie, I don't know why. I don't know why. Ellie's and we were talking about overconfidence. Ellie seems to have in her mind that Gabler doesn't know how his idol works. He has the clue. He has his idol. He knows that his idol is good for 2 tribal councils. Well, she's ready for him to go. And her and Justine feel like if he doesn't know that his idol is still good, they can maybe blindside him. She's going to go test him out, and she's going to try to say, hey, man, now that their idol expired, we could probably use it as a fake idol. That's so good, huh? That's her plan. She says this to Justine and to Sammy, and she doesn't. I don't know why neither one of them checked the fact that Sammy's not very happy about them thinking that they have a better relationship with Gabler than Sammy does. Because Sammy doesn't seem happy about them having that opinion.
Oh, you think you have a better relationship with Gabler?
And because he says it just like that, it just seems like, yeah, Ellie's has the best relationship with Gabler. He's like, oh, okay. Bet. Got you.
They were. This was a great Sammy moment. Like, I am really moving from Team Ellie to Team Sammy. Like this guy knows what's going on.
Another person you hated in the.
I know. Look, I could change my mind. It's okay.
Listen, I'm just saying.
This isn't American politics. I could join the other side.
I just want you to say that Kevin was right.
I've said that before. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're wrong. This time you were right. Although I was always in the middle. Kylie was the one that was anti-Sammy. I was always. I'm usually the middle person. Like the thing about this is that it feels it feels to me like Ellie and Janine have been drinking their own Kool-Aid and nobody else has. And they keep on telling themselves the same story. Gabler's an idiot. Gabler doesn't know. Gabler's unknowing. Sammy's going to be with us. This one's Owen's on. I think they are giving themselves overconfidence, and that is the worst thing you can do in these games. If you're ever overconfident, what the hell? NECA said she has a 9.5 that she knows what's going on. Like, anytime you're overconfident, it's going to be you, and this is the demise of Ellie.
It's when you're in an echo chamber, because you're like looking at you, and they're looking at you, and you're like, we got this, right? We got this. We do got this. We do got this. Look at us. We're so smart. Look at you. Look at me. Look at us. That's exactly what happens with Ellie and Justine's conversations. And so,
Janine,
go ahead. Go ahead.
And you saw that shift between that and Janine. Like, in the first episode, you saw Janine and Ellie going back and forth. Should we keep Mariah? Should we not keep Mariah? You saw that debate, and then after that, you're like, go team. We're the greatest shit ever. And they just fucked themselves. They should have kept Mariah. They had Gabler then not play an idol. And honestly, admitting, hey, I'll just use my shot in the dark. And they convinced him not to do it. That's the perfect time to flush an idol. He's already saying, hey, I'm not great at strategy, and if you want to keep me in, it's going to be a lot of work to drag me to the end, and then I'll take your spot. He said that, first thing. Not, directly said it, but that's basically what his words meant.
Yep,
and they said, you know what, let's get rid of Mariah. We're so smart. And now here they are. They're so brilliant, so smart.
One of the things they should have realized, if it was so easy for them to convince Gabler to do something, it should be just as easy for everybody else to convince Gabler to do something. And if you're not the last person in Gabler's ear, Gabler's going against you. So, it's just this overconfidence. And we see it. It's classic Survivor. When somebody gets too cocky, something bad is going to happen. And I assume what's going to happen is next season they lose. Next episode they lose. And Ellie's going home. Which I also predict that will be the start of Janine waking up and being like, shit, I was playing this game on level 8 out of 10. I need to play this on level 10 out of
10. By them not checking their own hubris in front of Sammy, he then goes and tells
Yep.
Gabler, hey yo,
As he should.
Gabes, they win your bag, bro, and they know that your idol's still good, but they don't know that you know that your idol's still good.
Yep.
And then that, like, first off, I hate Gabler. Okay, I'm just not a fan. And for him to be like, how dare they go in my bag? I thought we were allies. I thought they trusted me. Yada yada yada. Now I want Ellie to go. That is a pretty terrible read in response to what he's learned here. There's nothing but emotion there. You got to sit back, take a look at it, and say, well, I can't trust Ellie, but let's see what we can do. But he has that response. They immediately go to Owen, and I love the Owen's like, they went in your bag? Flashback, Owen standing right there. Hey, he's coming back. Hurry up and read it. Read it out loud. Let me know what it says. Owen's like, oh my gosh, they went in your bag? I can't believe it. And so then Ellie comes up, and then she's like, so Gabes, we could totally use that as like a fake idol, right? He's like, we could definitely use it as a fake idol because it's expired. A wink emoji. A wink emoji.
Ellie and Janine's issue isn't underestimating Gabler because I think they estimated him about the right amount. It's the underestimating of Owen and Sammy and thinking, oh, they have a penis, they must all be Gablers. That's just not how that works.
If my favorite part is that Ellie's plan works if they don't disrespect Sammy in his mind.
Yep.
And I say that because if she goes up to Gabler and says, "Oh yeah, you got that expired idol," he'll be like, "Oh no, it's still good." And she'll be like,
cool.
Okay, cool, good to know. You do know." But instead, they disrespected Sammy, who goes and says, "Hey man, they're gonna come try to screw you, so you got to do this thing to try to get them from screwing you." It's like a little bit of like a reverse psychology type deal,
so
like a reverse.
I have to say, I hated watching Ellie's face when she was having that conversation with Gabler, because the look on her face was, "I am so smart.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what I'm doing, and you have no idea I'm doing it to you." And it was yucky. I did not like it. It was yucky, and I have to say, we could all shit on Gabler. He played it off perfectly. She had no idea. She had no idea.
He didn't play it off perfectly. He was tipped off. It's not like he read her. He didn't read her.
I'm sorry, but he could have acted poorly. He could have stuttered. He could have like it doesn't matter. In that moment, he bought what he sold.
He was like, "Oh yeah, Sheldon, I want to give it to my daughter." That was put it off pretty well.
I thought that was great.
Listen. I'm not going to sit here and give this man kudos for doing the easy thing. He was told exactly what was going to happen, and she came and played it because she had told Sammy the exact play. Like, it's like watching a football game and then them saying they're going to run to the left. There's going to be a hole. They're going to run to the left, and then they go and run to the left. And then you stopped them. You didn't do anything. They just told you what was going to happen. They told you where the play was going to be.
I completely disagree with you. Because I'm sorry, not all humans are really good liars. Not all humans have the ability to tell you to your face the exact opposite of what you want to hear. And that's exactly what he did. I completely disagree. He was acting his ass off then, and he did it well. And she obviously bought in. It's possible she would have bought in no matter what he did and said, because she was so confident in herself.
She was so confident in her own. Right? She was like, yeah, my plan worked. That's how she's fine. That's why she bought it.
But I'm not taking away from Gable. I'm not going to disrespect the man. He does heart surgery, and I don't think he does. But he does heart surgery.
No, he does a very specialized thing in the.
He presses the on button on the valve.
He does a very specialized thing. So okay, let's get to the challenge, right? Because the challenge, normally I don't give two damns about a challenge, but this challenge was interesting because you have Noelle take off her leg and say, "This is a swimming thing. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in there." And they're like, "What do you want me to do? Just let me hold on to you right here. I gotta go second because I gotta hold on to you." They gotta jump from this platform into the water. They gotta go up a couple platforms, jump back in, dive down, unhook a buoy. This thing comes up. gives you some like puzzle pieces or something. Then you got to put together a turtle puzzle. First tribe to finish wins immunity and a big thing of fruit and tools. And then the second tribe to finish wins smaller tools, smaller fruit. I do love the fact that Jeff keeps saying this season, third tribe to finish, also known as the losing tribe. Date with me at tribal council, and I take your flame. I love the fact that he's saying third tribe to finish. They don't finish, Jeff. That's the point.
So we have to talk about Noelle here for a second, because I've never seen anything like that in my life before. And this is kind of what I was saying last week of why I didn't fully understand why Noelle sat while NECA didn't. Because the thing about Noelle, no matter that she doesn't have a leg, Noelle is an athlete. Noelle is a fighter. Noelle outshone all of them. Noelle without a foot is a better competitor than NECA. I'm sorry. She just is. And watching her go up and down on those boxes, even out of like it was the most amazing, most inspiring thing. And she's a bitch. And I say that in the best way possible. Like, she's a mean killer. Like, I love her. Love her.
I disagree. I disagree.
Not
her being a badass. I don't disagree with that. Last week, the thing was they had to climb up this like rope ladder thing.
She would have used her upper body strength, and she would have been.
It would have taken her longer. It would have taken her longer. It's the first challenge. I agree with her sitting out. Yeah, now they saw how NECA goes, right? They know how NECA goes now. But before, they're like, okay, I got to climb this rope thing. It's going to be all upper body. So I have to hold on, and then I have to yank my foot. Because a climb, you need to be able to climb. But you can't really climb with that. And now this, even using the boxes, she was a badass jumping up those boxes. But it took her a little extra time because she had to get up there. She had to climb up. It's not too much extra time. I'm not saying like a ton of extra time.
I'm sorry.
She went just as fast as everybody next to her on that challenge.
I think
if not
she
even a little faster. She was keeping pace, if not speeding up. Like,
she was keeping pace.
She was slower on the hopping part, but the swimming part, she was going.
The swimming part crushed it. I'm talking about the hopping part. That's what I'm talking about. And so when she had to, so her sitting out last challenge, we talked about this last week. Sheldon felt like she should have done the challenge. Her having to climb up the rope ladder was why she's sitting out. It has nothing to do with anything else. The swimming part, she can definitely kill. The dragging the stuff in, she could probably kill and help a lot still. But it's the swimming, it's the climbing part.
I will tell you what I'll repeat again what I said. I think you're right. However, I think you're so wrong, because even if it would have been hard, she would have done it and would have done it with class.
But you don't know if you're gonna dust NECA that time. This time you do, because you watched NECA perform.
Well, one of the problems though is that they put her in the same fucking spot. Excuse my French. Like that's the difficulty with NECA. She can't do the hard stuff. She can't do she can't do the physical stuff. She can't do the puzzles. What are we gonna do with you?
And so this is where we get into this, right? So we do the challenge. Noelle's tribe has a little bit of a lead. They have a lead going into the next part because NECA hasn't had to go yet. So they do the swim part really quickly. How about Ryan? How about Ryan going off the platform, right into the water, and right to the buoy, with taking no time for a break because he knew he had to make up time. That was awesome. Well, they get it free. They get to the puzzle, and Jesse and NECA are on the puzzle. They've swapped out Dwight. NECA is insistent on doing the puzzle. They have a bit of a lead. She screws it up. Yep. She drops the ball. She fumbles the bag.
Listen, you also have to say Jesse was doing nothing to help either. The difference is it's 2 times in a row NECA screws up the puzzle.
I thought it was interesting that they both.
He was on the last puzzle though. They were both on the puzzle both times, and both times they fucked up.
No, last time it was Dwight.
Last time it was Dwight. Never mind. I rescinded my
statement. Yeah, it was Dwight last time.
So 3 horrible puzzle makers on a tribe of 5 now, or a tribe of 4 now.
Yeah, and so NECA goes out there, shits the bed, is over here looking at the other tribe finish the puzzle because they're trying to get some ideas.
They were ahead, folks. They were ahead.
Yeah.
Because Noelle was the star, they were ahead.
Noel was a star. Cody really brought the pain too.
You're not giving any love to Noel.
I've given a lot of praise to Noel, but I'm not going to sit here and just gush over like
I'm gushing
this
over this
cuss. I
woman.
know you're the you
Gushing.
and the heart thing. We're talking here to talk about logical things like strategy, and that's
okay. I have to talk about heart in a second after we're done this competition because there were moments of heart in this episode I don't ever want to see again.
Well, at the end of the challenge, Jeff lets it be known that Gabler's tribe gets to pick who's going to the Decision Island place. They first get to pick from Noel's tribe, and they pick Noel. Then they get to pick from Carla's tribe, and they pick James. Then they got to send one of their own people, and they send Sammy, right? Owen. They send Owen. And so the three of them go on a little walk. And I loved the immediate camaraderie that they bonded with on this little thing. Also, I was wondering, first and foremost, I was wondering was Noelle going to get her leg back or were they carry her? But she gets her leg, and immediately you get the camaraderie. What did you think, Ryan?
I loved it. And I loved that this journey was more so like crawling through stuff. It was like physically hard, but it was also like they not only emotionally connected, but talked decent strategy. It wasn't just the, oh yeah, I got you kind of thing. They talked about like, this is where I'm at. This is what I need. How can I help? How can we do this?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, like I've seen a lot of people go on journeys in the different seasons. It's normally like, yeah, fist bump, and then they're like, fuck that guy. Whereas this, they went on it. And I see Noelle being completely sincere the entire time. I see Owen thinking, this is good. It's like, I don't know if this is my ride or die, but this is good. And I see James going, yeah, I'm vibing. Like, this is a crew. Like, it's solid. And James and Owen, neither of them give a second thought about giving Noelle the thing. They're like, oh yeah, you take it. That way you can take the shit and you'll trust me later.
And I love that Noelle said, hey, listen, if y'all let me just get the thing, instant 3. I have nobody over there. Like, Dwight's cool, but that's it. Instant 3, I'm with you too. Just let me get this thing because I got to make it through this vote, whatever the thing may be. And they're like, listen, we're not in trouble. Go ahead, do the thing you got to do. We don't lose our votes. We don't have to worry about that. And you get the advantage. Take it. Sheldon, what did you think of that, the strategy they did at the island?
I think it's all three of them who had really solid strategy there. And I think we're going to be seeing these three for quite a while in this game. Noelle did exactly what she needed to do. She needed to cover her rear end, and she figured out how to cover her rear end by going there, by getting some advantage. The other two, they were there maybe to get an extra power, but really they didn't. They made a decision that it is far more worthwhile for the two of them as individuals to have this potential 3 at a merge or at a swap than it was to get any one extra vote. And I think they all made smart decisions here. Bang on, no mistakes.
Then I love that Noelle gets back and she's like, hey, my vote was too important. Couldn't really risk it. Cody don't believe nobody. Cody doesn't believe nobody at all. You can see on his face, he's like, cool. I don't think that's what happened. You can see it on his face. But it's cool because she goes and pulls Dwight to the side and says, I got an advantage. Let's go open this thing together and figure out what this thing is because you're the only person I trust. And we get a little monologue about her saying that she's not supposed to share it with nobody because, that's what they say on Survivor. But she's going to share it because she only has one ally, and that was the right decision. That's called bringing your ally in, Jesse. Go ahead, take some notes because that's what you should do when you have an ally. You should tell them what's going on.
Preach. 100%. Noelle's doing what Jesse isn't.
Right.
And that's why Dwight's going to be with her and not him.
Correct. Easy. At the same time, on that tribe, we had some strategy going, and Cody's like, we got to get rid of NECA. Y'all should have got rid of NECA last time. You don't even have to do this if you get rid of NECA last time.
For Cody's game, I get it, though, because voting out Justine was never going to be with him. Whereas now that the numbers are smaller, he can finagle some more relationships, and he's not going to be 1 to 4. So for Cody, it makes sense to do that time. And then we'll talk more about this vote as we get into it.
Well, I have to say that, like, to me, I never fully understood the Jesse move last week. Like, it made sense for Cody because he didn't want Eka to go because that was his ride or die. But for Jesse, like, if I'm looking at Justine and I'm looking at Noel, and then I'm looking at Cody and NECA from a tribe perspective, tribe strength perspective, I think I would be choosing the side of Justine and Noel, just from a tribe strength perspective. I think that NECA was such a burden, sadly to say. I feel bad saying but I think he said, I think I could work better with NECA and Cody, which is why he chose them. I'm not certain that's the right move this early in the game.
I disagree, because NECA and Cody would have been loyal to him the entire time. That wasn't a voting against tribe strength, that was a voting for loyalty. And he had hesitations with Justine. The part that bothers me is him going, yeah, boasting his last vote completely on loyalty and then just doing a flip 180. Like, it's too early in the game to flip-flop, and that's where my head is at.
Yeah.
Like, flip-flopping is great once you get later in the game, once you build that trust, but it's too early to do a 180 with what your game values are.
I have to talk about something that really annoyed me. I talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it again. I'm going to sound like a heartless, horrible person. The sad music. When Jesse starts talking about, I can't vote out NECA.
It's like a mother.
She reminds me of my mother. Insert sad music. Insert a reel of photos from his past. I'm sorry, God, I can't handle it. It is so much mushy, gushy, like it's too much and unnecessary.
This coming from the person that was talking about how amazing Noelle is, and she was such courage.
No.
Carla fighting, going out there and just being a courageous person. This is the same man who's telling me that Jesse's the kind things about Jesse's life you don't want to see.
Sheldon, men have feelings too. That's what I gotta say about that.
Kevin, I'm sorry, there's a very big difference. I didn't see Carla having to show me the story of all of the heartaches in her life and how bad this. I just saw her. No, this is a big part of me. This is a big challenge. I was triumphant and I took a risk.
Okay, but Jesse did not put that in. That was the edit. Like, Jesse shared his truth. His emotions were valid. And he was doing fine. And like when he was listening to him, I was like, yeah, I empathize with that.
No, I'm sorry.
So you're mad at the fact.
Hold on. Let me talk.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna let you talk.
Let me talk.
Wait, let me say this. You're gonna be mad at the fact that when they called Carla and said, "Do you have any photos of when you were not confident?" She's like, "Nah."
No.
They're like, "Oh, we couldn't put them in then."
So here's the thing. I have zero problems with Jesse. No. I'm making a complete comment on the edit being completely inauthentic because I didn't need to see the pictures of Jesse's mother. All I needed him to hear to make that connection between how voting out NECA is like his mother is that, you know what, voting out NECA is like my mother. My mother was in ministry. NECA's in ministry. My mother is a big-hearted person. My mother. I don't need all of this gush. It's too much. It feels so inauthentic, and I didn't feel like that's how deeply emotional it was for Jesse either. So the fact that you're giving me all this mushy-gushy when it's not in his face, I feel like it's poor storytelling. It's too much. It's unnecessary.
Okay, I disagree, and then I'm going to agree with you. So I'm gonna disagree with the emotional stuff because they're doing that with literally every single character this season. It's their new shtick. I'm fine with that.
Too much.
This is an emotional, but this is an emotional tribe. Like you see NECA literally breaking down in tears over the idea of voting out Noelle. You see Cody's relationship talking about like his lost best friend. This is an emotional tribe. So them having emotions doesn't bother me. My issue with the edit is in this point where Jesse is talking about how sad he is about maybe voting out NECA. That's when they tell you what's going to happen in the episode. That's when they tell you NECA's going home. It spoils the ending. Because if he was keeping NECA, he wouldn't have that big emotional reaction about voting her out. Like, he wouldn't be emotional if he was going, oh, yeah. Producer wants you to say, what if I vote out NECA? It's him saying, oh, I feel terrible about voting out NECA. Like, the emotions that come from it show what's going to happen in the end. And
I didn't know that NECA was going home last night, so it wasn't spoiled for me. That's the honest to goodness truth. But For some people like you, I'm sure it was. For me, it's not. I just want to be clear. I love emotion. Like I want them all. Like I'm fine with emotions. I'm fine with them crying. I'm fine with hearing their story. I just don't need a melodramatic soap opera every single second because that's actually not at the core of Survivor. Like
It is.
that adds
It is.
to their journey in the game. I
No.
don't need to hear about all of that other shit all the time. It's too much. Too
20
much for
years.
me.
20 years. We know that these people are game players at this point, right? We know that. We know that these people are fans. We know that. Now they're trying to show you who the people are behind the fandom, right? That's when you get with what's his face's that was from India and he learned Survivor. That's how he learned how to speak English, right? That's how you get that. That's how you get Noelle's story about her leg and losing it in a moped accident.
Again, I have no problem with hearing these stories. I like hearing these stories. I don't like the edit of it being so melodramatic because it's inauthentic. Humans are not that melodramatic and not that emotional all the time. One person is on a season. Two people are. Not every single one of them seem to be about to break down and cry after every second. That's not life.
This isn't life, Sheldon. They're stuck on a fake island filming a TV show. What do you think's going on here?
I don't think that Jesse was actually so emotionally distraught that we needed to get the young and the
I
rest.
think he was.
Yeah,
I think
I
he
don't think
definitely
he was.
was.
I agree with that. You're on this island, you're secluded, and all of your friends want to vote you out of the island for $1 million. Like, the paranoia is so high, the emotions are so intense. And then when you have these things to fall back to and compare, it's not like you can go online and say, oh, what is this person to compare it about this thing and like that. It's the only comparisons you have are your real life experiences.
Fine. Too much for me. Sorry.
I
Just my-
played an online game and me and Ryan got emotional.
Yeah,
And we were
Kevin
playing-
and I
we-
cried. We both cried
Yeah.
in front of each other, and we had access
only-
to the internet.
Yeah, we're playing an online game. Like if they're on an island, it's only them. NECA's having that real emotion about voting out Noelle. Jesse's having those real emotions about knowing he has to vote out NECA. Those
Again,
are real.
You're not.
Those
I
are
don't.
genuine.
I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying.
You don't like the fact that they piped in music and they put in
Yes.
some pictures?
Yes.
Jeez.
Because it makes it inauthentic. I just want to watch them being emotional. I don't need all the extra stuff to highlight things. I like, don't tell me when to be emotional. If I'm sad, I'll cry. I don't need your extra music and extra pictures for that. Sorry.
So when you watch like shows like Full House, did you hate like the laugh track also?
I don't like laugh tracks. No.
I didn't think so.
No. I'll tell you when it's funny. I'll tell you. If I laugh, it's funny.
So we get you felt like it kind of telegraphed what was happening. I felt like it was already known that NECA was going home. It just wasn't. I wasn't sure how. After they introduced the fact that Noelle had the extra vote, or the still a vote, because that's the advantage she had. I wasn't sure if she was going to use it at that time or if she was going to hold it on until later. It's way more advantageous to hold it on for later. But if it was going to be her that night, she was going to have to use it. So she must have caught wind that they were all definitely voting out NECA because NECA was just so obviously the worst person in the challenge. And they were tired of losing. So
and now her and Dwight are in like the power position.
Correct. I felt like that was a great place for them to end up in, especially with NECA going home. This tribe may not lose again. They may not, but they have a good chance to like stick it out. Because as we know, Ryan's playing in every challenge, right? Ryan's going to play for that tribe. Ryan's going to be in every challenge. They're going to have probably Carla in every challenge.
Sammy's going to play every challenge on the other one. Like, they're going to have busy people.
Gabler's, they're going to be able to sit Gabler right now. So, like, it's going to be interesting.
Gabler and Janine on and off, and that's what they're going to do.
And so, it's now that they have the space to do that. So, it's going to be a good battle. We're going to see what happens. Sheldon, any final thoughts on this episode? How are you liking the season?
My only final thought, we didn't talk much about the Coco tribe just because nothing's happened in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks with them. But it is I've always said this. Going to tribal council, however scary and bad it is, it's also amazing for your game because they're all getting extremely paranoid and extremely scared. They don't know where anybody sits. They don't know what's going on. And that's why they're all going stir crazy. I want to see them at a tribal. I want to see where the divisions are. I want to see Carla actually have to make a decision. I hope that happens next week. I kind of think it won't. I think Ellie's going to be gone next week. But I'm loving the season so far. Just no melodrama, please.
Ryan, how are you feeling about the episode in the season?
I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was a terrible move on Jesse and Cody's part because they previously made the decision, let's keep NECA, let's be loyal. And now they just said, you know what, fuck loyalty. Let's take our 3 to like potentially 1 advantage, which could have carried them pretty far in the game, could have helped them in a swap, could have helped them in that. And now they know that there's tension between Noelle and Cody and Jesse. Like, it's obvious that Noelle didn't feel comfortable in the last tribal. So why are you keeping somebody who's clearly not comfortable with you? And now they didn't even know that Noelle has like steal a vote.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you to a degree. I think the part that it's tough is that if you're going to go with loyalty, you have to have decided that you're cool losing. Like, that's a whole different mindset you got to get in. You got to look at the board and be like, cool, we're going to lose the next 3 tribes. That gives us 3 tribals to get through. And to get down to just me and Cody, for Jesse to say, just going to get down to me and Cody, we just got to be cool losing. And if we're not going to be cool losing, then we got to do this. And I think that's another thing, now that I said it out loud, that's another thing you and I didn't take into account, Ryan, is that if you're cool losing, that means you're cool not having flint. If you don't have flint, you don't have water, you don't have fire. I didn't think about that until right this moment. There's no food. Game of
Survivor, fire is life.
Okay, I rescind my entire strategic statement.
Because you're right.
Based on my stomach, I rescind my statement.
Yeah. No, you're right. Otherwise, but now that they take your flint and all these challenges have food and they don't give them rice anymore, like, no, you're on your own. Like, NECA has to go, because we have to keep the tribe strong.
Why don't they make fire with their glasses? Like, I remember in seasons past, people have done it.
Yeah, Alman did it, but that was like they were in different places. It might not work in Fiji.
Just not enough sun, I guess, or whatever.
Maybe too many trees. Like, there might be the conditions are not.
Have you two ever used flint to make a fire?
I have not.
Ryan, have you been able to do it?
It's hard. It's so hard. Like, if you're not experienced, it's tricky.
I really want to try.
Like, it took me a really long time to figure out the first time.
I have to buy some
and then you get better as you go, but it's hard at first.
So if you're trying to do it without flint, it's like nearly impossible. A couple sticks.
Yeah, I don't even know how.
Man, okay, that was the episode. I thought the episode was pretty good. This season, I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know most people's names, but I'm learning them as we go. There's people I don't like. Still not a big fan of Gobbler. I'm less angry at Cody. Jesse's still making dumb moves, but that's just my opinion.
Sammy.
I like Sammy a lot. I like Carla a lot. I like James a lot. You know what? Those other girls, Lindsay or whatever, they're pretty purple. They're getting pretty purple edits, you know.
Well, they also haven't been to tribal or found out any advantages, so they don't have a reason to be on screen just yet. But I can see them being good players based off of the very few interactions that they have.
Well, Cassidy seems like she got the first one of the night yesterday, and then we didn't see her again. She disappeared.
You just said a name that I didn't even realize was on this season.
Yeah.
So that was...
And the thing is, every time we see her, she looks different. Like, sometimes she's fully blonde. Sometimes it's like I don't know. Is it a different actor?
Yeah.
Like, what
this is a TV show.
Recast. She's been recast several times.
They decide they're not doing medevacs anymore. They just switch out the actor. Call it a day.
Thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching this, thank you for watching. We will be back next week to talk more Survivor. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell so that way you know when we're going to be on. Thank you guys for joining us, and have a good night.
Good night.